Yesterday, people spoke about the in South Carolina story. I'm not sure where this came from, but it was the Post and Courier. A group of prominent upstate Republicans, upstate South Carolina, are launching a wide-scale effort this week to encourage Republican voters across South Carolina to vote for Senator Bernie Sanders in the February 29th Democratic primary. That's going on in South Carolina. Be careful what you wish for, guys. Yeah. Be very careful.
Yeah, there's no track record of the Pied Piper strategy backfired.
Yes. Just ask.
I would also like to encourage Republican voters to vote for Bernie Sanders in the primaries, like all across the country.
Exactly. Operation Chaos.
And then continue voting for him in the general. Like, why not?
Exactly. That would really screw things up.
You know what would really make Hillary mad?
I got a story somewhere here where in North Carolina, Tom Tillis is in such trouble that Republicans are pouring money into the Democratic race, trying to make sure that they get the most left-wing candidate. Yeah. I don't know much about it. I got to dig into that a little bit more. But that sounds like a good idea to me, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
North Carolina is also one of those states. I mean, you know, and one of the things that does not get talked about, I think, is, and I think we'll be talking about this more, Bernie Sanders is going to be helped at one point by the fact that he has not been a registered Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
When you're talking about an environment that is so heavily polarized, where you can show people Obamacare, describe it, ask if they want it, ask if they like it, and they're like, Republicans are at like 65%, and then call it Obamacare, and it's like 35% approval.
Yeah.
Like, that's just the reality. And I would be very, very surprised if they don't push that on some level in the general election if they get there. We'll see. We got.
Right. It's been part of his. It's part of what has been electorally successful for him in his entire career so far. But yes.
But putting that aside, getting back to the Mitt Romney thing, when Mitt Romney voted or announced on the Senate floor that he was going to vote to convict on one account, the White House canceled the press briefing that they had scheduled. So they didn't know that that was coming. Now, I'm of two minds of this. Mitch McConnell could have had that vote Friday of last week. I think McConnell thought that he had the votes, or maybe he realized at that point that he may not have the votes and needed a couple more days.
Yeah.
Because initially I thought, well, they have the votes.
Right. Yeah, me too.
And, but they don't want the president to go off on his Super Bowl interview and the State of the Union and make it all about being exonerated.
Yeah.
I think they were a little afraid of that. They didn't want people remind people about it.
Yeah.
It's also possible Mitch McConnell knew that he didn't have Romney and wanted to wait until he could get the full Monty, as it were, and hold off because it would be a little bit embarrassing for Trump.
Yeah.
To say, and Trump was embarrassed, and he basically, they took the gloves off of him. They basically, this is like that moment, like in the, what was that thing with Jodie Foster and the serial killer? What,
Silence of the Lambs?
Silence of the Lambs. This is like basically where they took the mask off and they just said, go ahead, wander around the grounds of the prison for a while.
Yeah.
And this was nuts. I didn't see the whole thing in real time, but he was bat crap crazy. And what's more disturbing is all the people sitting there just like into it.
This is about me. This is an agent from the FBI. Look how they let her off. 33,000 emails deleted. Nothing happens to her. Nothing happens. It's unbelievable. But think of that. God, Hillary should win. When these guys are investigating Hillary. Then they go to work for Mueller, the two of them. And when Mueller found out that everybody knew that they were 100% this way, he let them go. But they deleted all of their emails and text messages. So when we got the phone, they were all deleted. Could you imagine the treasure trove? They illegally deleted. So they left Bob Mueller. He had the look, but he didn't have a lot of other things. Always had the look, Mr. G-Man. And I love the FBI, and the FBI loves me, 99%. It was the top scum. And the FBI people don't like the top scum. So think of that, 100 million to 1, and he's investigating me.
I mean, this is like Lenny Bruce at the end reading the court dockets type of stuff.
Yeah. And
maybe as heavily medicated.
Which the president going out there and delivering this too, like there's a core number of people who know everything he's talking about. That's just nonsense to most normal people.
I mean, honestly, if Michael Bloomberg was serious about it, and I say only Michael Bloomberg because he has all this money.
Yeah.
I mean, the DNC is spending it all on golden parachutes for people they have to eject because they can't count votes. But if Michael Bloomberg had, if I was Michael Bloomberg, what I would do is I would be buying time on every Sinclair media station in the country, and I would just play this.
Yeah.
And I would play it unedited.
Just be like this, like, do you know what he's talking about? Here's the president.
This is your president. I mean, we have people on Fox and Friends. We don't think we have that clip. Fox and Friends, they're going like, what are we going to tell the kids? But play this. This Fox and Friends, what are we going to tell the kids about Nancy Pelosi tearing up the speech? What are we going to tell the kids who were up at 11 o'clock at night? Well, I'll tell you what you tell the kids. Go to bed.
Right.
But here's the first thing. Look at this. And then we're going to cut back to the second clip we have of Donald Trump. Here's Ainsley O'Hara on Nancy Pelosi with a focus group of suburban women who, we just got to wait until they find out that they're all like Trump for wherever they live.
Every single one of them is
Republican operatives.
Republican school board members.
Exactly.
What do we tell our children about all this infighting? I mean, I've never seen anything like this. Remember Ronald Reagan? He got along with the Democrats. Best friend was a Democrat. What do we tell our kids?
I think we have to use it as an example of how not to act and actually teach that you have to listen to someone else's perspective. It's okay to disagree, but you need to actually hear someone else and use a little empathy, something we need to be teaching a lot more of.
When she ripped that up, I really thought, my gosh, we have the founding fathers, the Constitution, there's decorum, there's civility. I just thought that went too far.
Well, there were Gold Star moms and there were angel moms, angel families in the State of the Union. And you had the Democrats getting up and walking out, not clapping, and then she tears it up. What is that saying? There's such disrespect.
Yes.
We have got to come together in this country to get something done. I mean, personally, I'm sick of these career politicians going to Washington to serve themselves. They're going to build a political future, and they're not going to help us and to help the people, and we've got to stop it.
Sam, what issue?
Yeah, and then I can only imagine what issue is important. Well, all these transgender bathrooms. It's a real problem. Yeah, what are we going to tell the kids? Like the idea the founding fathers ripping up anything.
Yeah.
They would never do that because first of all, the way that paper was such a valuable commodity at that time.
Yeah.
Didn't
it wasn't so easy.
Congressman beat another one with his cane
yes,
at one point?
in Reconstruction. Yes, right. Following in the radical Republicans. So I don't know what we're going to be able to tell the kids about Nancy Pelosi at 11 o'clock at night after after the State of the Union speech that she tore something up. But while we're at it, we should probably explain to the kids that the president was, probably a little bit too much medicated.
They were going to try and overthrow the government of the United States, a duly elected president. And if I didn't fire James Comey, we would have never found this stuff. Because when I fired that sleazebag, all hell broke out. They were ratting on each other. They were running for the hills. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. It's in the hands of some very talented people. We're going to have to see what happens. But I can tell you, in my opinion, these are the crookedest, most dishonest, dirtiest people I've ever seen.
Do we have the part where he says bullshit? So after they get done explaining why there is, why they don't know how to tear paper, then okay, well it's 4 seconds. I don't know. In context, it was better, but let's play it anyways. Do we not pull it?
It was all bullshit.
I mean, the years in which we heard, like, what are we going to tell the children about Bill Clinton?
Yeah. I mean, my God, any president in the television age saying that while president would have been the sort of like hand-wringing about it would have been incredible.
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine if Barack Obama had said bullshit or called the FBI scum?
Yeah.
Or, I mean, just like, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's
It
unbelievable.
would have been kind of cool.
It would have been super cool, and he would be out of office like the next day. They would be marching.
I mean, you
Washington.
can point to in his presidency, you can point to the
He
minute
wore
white
a tan suit.
No, it was literally when he said that a cop act stupid was like the minute whites began abandoning ship.
Yeah.
Literally, he said a cop acted stupid.
Yeah.
And that was like, woo.
And just a reminder, he was talking about when a cop basically pulled his gun on, was it Gates?
Yeah.
A Harvard professor
At
in his own
in his
house.
own house. Yeah.
Yeah, stupid is one way to describe it.
Yeah.
That's about as tame. I mean, but that shows like that is in terms of race relations. That shows where Obama's where the parameters were.
Yeah, absolutely.
If he had said something more aggressive, like this thing was a huge scandal for 6 months.
Yeah.
The beer summit. Mm-hmm. I mean, they dined on that for 6 months.
Yep.
I mean, I think it's possible that Rush Limbaugh got lung cancer just from articulating beer summit so many times.
But yeah.